Before we begin, thank you very much to Skywarp420 for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for the contribution. All goes into keeping this channel going, keeping me doing daily content for everybody. Thank you very much for the support and allowing me to continue being this goofball on the internet for you. Always love to do it. If you're wondering about the bird, yeah, this is Laserbeak. Yeah, this if you missed the video from last week, this is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive plushie, little shoulder buddy, done by Symbiote Studios. So thank you again to Symbiote for providing them for my review earlier. See, magnet holds tight. Should have taken him around MetroCon over the weekend. Now that I think about it. Point being, he's gonna be my buddy today because we're talking San Diego Comic-Con stuff. I'm way behind on this because I was out of town last week, but hey, a ton of stuff dropped. We got to talk about it, right? So we're going to start where Hasbro started, and that is with the preview breakfast they did on Friday. And that means we're going to get to talk, I believe it was on Friday. I don't know. It's the first thing they showed off. And the first thing they showed off was our upcoming PulseCon exclusive, which is going to be Nemesis Prime using the Commander Optimus Prime mold. From Armada, and yeah, I mean, so looks pretty good. The original listing had him with the Vorpal Saber, which this is definitely not. I assume we thought he'd come with the Dark Saber. No, he's just straight up coming with the Air Defense Minicon team for some reason. So weird choice, but at least it's getting 3 more Minicons out there. Everyone's going to hate this being a Pulse exclusive. It's going to make it really annoying. But no, this actually does look really cool. So Hasbro went animation accurate for this Nemesis Prime. I prefer the way he looked in the toy with the blue shade of plastic that's so dark you could confuse it for black, and the bone color, like that tan, like that pale tan color instead of the gray. That's really like Nemesis Prime to me. That's your difference between your Scourge and your Nemesis Prime. Especially your 2000s, you know, but they went animation accurate, as you know they tend to do these days. So it is what it is. For that, it looks fine. Like, this is the shade of blue that he was in the cartoon. I do kind of wish the gray and the silvers were a little bit darker. They were a little bit darker in the show. I will accept it for what it is, however. It looks cool though, and like, yeah, the air defense minicons look really nice too. They're not clear plastic, thank the gods. Mine broke. Mine self-destructed because of that stuff. Just make them out of normal plastic. They last a lot longer. Please and thank you. But no, neat to see them again. Great to see their brand new molds. So hopefully they'll be a little bit more durable than the old ones were. Still combined into the Star Saber sub, their individual modes. So this is using the Commander class Armada Optimus Prime. It is noteworthy it does not come with a trailer, and they announced nothing about a trailer, so I'm assuming he is just not going to have one, which is fine. But that said, I don't have a photo of it because I couldn't find it offhand, but they did show off that when he is in the super mode, when you turn him into the torso, he does have fully painted components, so there is like a Nemesis super mode. So if you happen to have a spare pair of legs you can customize or something, the possibility is there. I'm just wondering, like, why just the normal Star Saber? Surely there's a better way of releasing that isn't going to upset a whole bunch of people, because this is going to make it hard to get. You know, this is a $75 box, and there's going to be people who don't care about that Nemesis. All they want is the Minicons. So what are you going to do? These are like 3 of the most important ones in the show. So it's a little bit weird to like throw them in like this. Weird that he comes with a fully gold matrix. I would have changed that color at least. See, it looks good. It looks good all the way around. I was hoping I had a close-up of the head. There we go. Yeah, I guess I focused on the matrix, did not focus on the head, which is the important part. Resculpted to match the damaged look that it briefly had in the show. I think that's a good call. Definitely gives him a very different vibe, even from other Nemesis Primes. My favorite part is the fact that his left eye is completely like shot out. There's just a red rim around it. It's a little hard to see in this photo. No, I'm actually looking forward to this. This is a pretty solid choice. And it's a really good toy, too. So, like, yeah, it's going to be cool to see this come out. Now, are they ever going to do the Universe Ultra Magnus repaint? The one that I really liked. One of the only, like, what was it? Battle in a Box set figures that I actually really liked. I would like to see that again, please. Probably not happening. But I'm glad they did this. I just wish the Minicons were the Darksaber team. It would have thematically fit him so much better. You know, and someone's going to be annoyed that they can't get these normally. Is what it is. So, the cool thing about doing this so late is that all the official images are out, and we can talk about those instead of going with those grainy photos that people have taken of the projection screen, which is generally how we see these first. So we're going to see the official slides from the official video presentation that came later, and that is going to start with what I think is way overdue, a brand new fan vote. So in something they are calling Activate Your Alt Mode, we are going to get the chance to choose between one of 4 Transformers characters, and we will get to decide the brand new alt mode that they take on, which is it's an interesting idea. It's a little bit more limited, but then again, that's going to allow them to produce it way faster than it would to like do the Windblade thing these days and start from the ground up. We don't know the characters yet. Obviously, the silhouette is just your standard 3 big name Decepticons, but it could literally be anybody in the roster they want to do. But yeah, on the 12th, we're going to get to choose which character gets the new alt mode, and then we get to choose what type. We get to choose the category of alt mode. So I'm going to assume land, sea, or air. And then we get to choose the alt mode after that. I really hope we get something really silly. Can I get Starscream as a submarine? Just completely goofy thing. Because honestly, the character, unless they go really weird and just do 4 characters who don't have toys, that would be interesting. You know, like, you know, if like Rack and Ruin, like in G1, who didn't have like a toy to base an alt mode from. That would be funny. That'd be amusing. It's gonna come down to what characters they let us pick from, because it's just like Starscream, Megatron, Optimus. That's boring, right? It's boring. Let's throw something weird at me, and then it's just gonna come down to how troll do we want to be? How much of a troll do we want to be? Do we want to make an Optimus Prime jet? It's only happened once. Happened in Titan's Return. Do we want to make Megatron as a car? You know, that's only happened a couple of times. Your G2 GoBots, your Alternity, things like that. We don't know. We don't know. It's going to depend. We'll see August 12th just how much of a troll they will let us be. But I'm looking forward to it. I love the fan votes they did in the past. Way overdue for them to do one again. All right, we will go into general reveals here. So, Void Rivals exclusive San Diego Comic-Con release. It's essentially just an animation color Jetfire with a few details to match the comic book. You know, and obviously you get Darak and Solila. And they promise there's going to be more Void Rival toys on the way. I'm going to assume that's more like 3 3/4 inch characters from the show, from the comic book, as well as Transformer redecos to match how they look in the books. So that would be really cool to do. I've still not read up on these books, but I am aware there is a large Transformers presence in them, especially amongst Season 3 characters for some reason. We will see. We will see. Another one that was, temporarily exclusive. Your first dibs at the Megatron Bumblebee pack was at San Diego Comic-Con. Also, I'm gonna shout out my friend Edgar a few times in this video because he did a lot of help for me. He helped me grab that set along with the Mega Man Me Tools, the Mega Man Mets. Thank you very much, Edgar, for grabbing those for me. There's a ton of other stuff at San Diego Comic-Con that actually caught my eye. I don't know if I'm going to do another video just on like all the off-topic stuff, Let me know in the comments below if you actually want me to do that. Yeah, I can talk more toys, you know, why not? Okay, there's a Nemesis Prime in his official renders. We talked about this before. So Twin Mill and Bone Shaker dropped before San Diego Comic-Con, so we got to talk about those on the news roundup. They look fantastic. Still don't know what the big, you know, I assume lightning rod weapon Bone Shaker's got, I guess. But then we get into reveals, like proper reveals of 2026 stuff, and this is where things get really, really cool. And now is the part where everyone was actually waiting to see. All right, we are starting with the deluxes, and we are getting Sure Shot, another one of the Target Masters from year 4 of G1 that still had not had an update. Really good to see him making into the mix. Now during their presentation, especially I'm basing this off their video presentation they made later. They did state that this would complete your your Autobot Target Masters. And I don't agree with that sentiment, because I really think Crosshairs was a, half effort of a figure. I really would prefer them to take that back and just do a brand new mold that actually turns into, a car and not like some Cybertronian van. I'd really like him to have his Target Master partner without being a separate purchase thing, you know? Little things like I'd like him to be treated the way all these others seem to be treated, you know, with a little bit of, dignity and actual attention, please. Begging you. Sure Shot does look good though. The fun thing for me is, like, I always try to think of, like, who is this going to get retooled or repainted into at some point. I can't really think of any offhand. Oh, I'm sure there's plenty. Oh, I'm sure there are plenty. But I just came off of a week-long vacation and 3 days running around a convention center, so my brain's not working right now. You are lucky I'm here. I could be in a coma right now, very easily. The Blast Off is already out in some places. Canada got it early. I know a Walmart in my area that had it, and I know they had it because there was still a Crasher hanging on the peg, and that frustrates me. I think the only thing that is worse than going to a store and finding nothing new is finding something that was in the wave of the new thing you were after, but not finding the thing you were after. So you know you missed it. Oh, if I had come yesterday. Oh, me, the fool. The one thing I do like about this is they painted the... I'm talking about Vortex. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Vortex. Blast Off's not out yet. Oh my god. I told you I shouldn't be here right now. I should be in a coma right now. Oh, people rushed into the comments section to correct me. Oh my god. Blast Off. Let's rewind. Focus on this again. I should edit all this out. Not going to. Giving you a laugh for free. Blast Off does look really good. I like the shuttle mode a lot. Way smoother than the other shuttle modes that we have gotten from, I don't know, everything they've tried to do with Astro Train so far. And yeah, I am amused by the fact that they went animation accurate and painted the forehead with his eye color rather than, his eyes. But that is his look from the cartoon. It's funny that we actually get one that officially does that. This is a situation where, like, a ball joint and a separate head would have been very appreciated, but I'll take it for what it is. It's a funny little unique character quirk. Yeah, he's looking really good though. He's another one of the arms, so you can see a little groove underneath his chest where, like, he's gonna connect and pop apart. But yeah, looks really solid. Looking forward to him. The mystery is solved, and frankly, the mystery is way more obvious than I would have liked, because we know what Jalopy is now. He's just another Junkion. I thought we were done with the Izers. Apparently not. We're going to get one more Junkion out there. They threw the toe line head onto him to give him a little bit more distinctiveness from the previous Axle Grease release. But this is basically them answering the demand of fans who liked those Junkions and said, like, we want that toy to actually match the other Junkions. We don't want it in purple. And you know what? I've been saying this for years. Like, if you're going to do a run of like all these like modular Iser toys that you expect people to take apart and combine into whatever, then you need to release them in all matching colors. If you start mashing them up, and like, this is yellow, this is white, and this is like this should all blend together, and it's not, it doesn't come across. It hits wrong. You know, I'm still one of those, like, the fossilizers would have been fantastic. Just have like full box sets of all of those in one's color scheme. Oh, that would have been a lot of building fun. That would have been a lot of fun to build. Never did it. Still annoys me. But yeah, okay. It's a new Junkion, so that collection grows just a little bit more. Does serve a purpose, does serve a demand from the fans, so don't mind that. He does come across like Hot Rod as a Junkion, not gonna lie, but he doesn't look bad. Now we are talking. Age of the Primes Quick Strike, looking absolutely fantastic. So I want to point out that they actually mentioned that, like, no, he's not translucent plastic. Thank you. But no, he looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. A lot of articulation in the Cobra. Cobra head's a little small. I could have done with a larger Cobra head. I do like that he has the 5mm port inside his claws, so he can still hold a few things. Also, they did point out that the mouth could hold blast effects. So you actually can attach things to him to like do like energy blast. If you have anything that looks like a venom shot, there you go. You can do that too. Yeah, it's a really nice looking upgrade. It's going to look great alongside Silverbolt in a Beast Wars shelf. Really, really nice. I want to say it looks like the shoulder. Okay, no, wait, hang on. No, I was going to say the shoulders might be back to ball joint, but no, I see the hinge. I was basing that off of how like his beast mode arms looked, but I know those are pins because I can see them. They're just very well hidden. So I like how clean that turns it into. Okay, I'll give you that. That ends up looking clean. I like that. He's looking good. Very, very, very excited for him. I think now is literally like the only thing left in the Beast Wars cast is just trans metals. Where are my trans metals? That's a whole other discussion. Quintus Prime is looking way better than I expected him to. So it's a big skirt that's going to keep him, floating, which is more or less what they had to do for the Transformers 1 Quintuson. He's got little tendrils hanging down, some extra ones coming off the side with convenient loops in them for holding 5mm peg stuff. His Emberstone is apparently buried in his chest. They didn't show it as a separate accessory, which would have been nice. Now, he's very, very based on his Covenant form, the Covenant of Primus design. And that's not too unexpected. I do wish a little bit more Earthspark was in there, since that is his main appearance, and all the others are kind of based on like their main appearance with like some of their others thrown in. This guy is very Covenant. He doesn't look bad though. Like the little squid spaceship alt mode looks kind of neat. It looks Quintuson. I think that's the approach here. This has to be Botanica, right? Right? Like there's no way you can look at this mold and not think this is going to become a Botanica toy. Like, Botanica has the 4 arms in one of her modes. Like, you can literally just swap out those tendrils for extra arms and, and start, retooling all the parts and, like, just keep the structure, keep the main stuff, and it would look the part. This would work. Fingers crossed. It's been a long time coming. But it's interesting. It's weird and interesting. That's what I'm getting out of these new primes, is that they're weird and interesting, and that's what I think we need more of. We need more weird in Transformers. We need more interesting and different. This is definitely different. Let's go to Voyager scale, where we're going to see another little bit of different. But first we have to explain Brawl. So they did say that because he is beefier than the other deluxes, he did get bumped up to Voyager. That's just a thing now. If the part count and the engineering gets too complicated for the deluxe class, they just sell it as a Voyager and just tack on enough to make it feel like it's worth 35 bucks. That's going to be a hard sell here. They did include a bunch of extra weaponry, which is based on all the original G1 toy parts. Okay, that helps a little bit. So the big thing for me, and I say this every time Brawl comes up, is that in the animation model, he's the entire leg. You know, there's nothing like skeletal about him like there is Superion or Menasor. He is the entirety of the lower leg. So how Onslaught is actually going to handle that, we don't know yet. We know there is some kind of skeleton combination to him. We were told that at the event, they mentioned that, like, yeah, they can't wait to see how he looks on the skeleton. So we know there is one. It would not surprise me if this toy didn't have added engineering based on the fact that he's far more of the lower leg than the other combiners we've had so far. And the same is going to be true of Swindle. Swindle got bumped up to Voyager too. That one's going to be harder to justify because he's a Jeep. We've had plenty of deluxe Jeeps. Yeah. I'm not sold on this guy as a Voyager, but at least, hey, I will say this. He looks a lot better than the last Brawl toy. Okay? So, like, I think Brawl, like, I think the last couple times they have done Combaticons, so the Fall of Cybertron and the Combiner Wars, I think Brawl has always come up the short end of the stick. I feel like he's always been the worst of the team. So I feel like this is his due. Like, let's just make a really solid Brawl toy that people can enjoy, and it does look good. He does look good. So we'll see if he is worth the 35 once we get him in hand. That's, it's up for reviewers like me to take the bullet for you. This was inevitable, and I hated how inevitable it was. So we're getting animated Wreck-Gar retooled from Trashmaster, and that was it was going to happen. It just was. I didn't like the idea then. I don't like the idea now. It just really looks like it's tacked on. Yeah, he should not have this Mad Max look to him. This is not animated style in the least. He's just going to look way out of place. When you put him with your Bumblebee and your Optimus Prime, your Prowl, and the upcoming Ratchet, when you look at this guy, he's not going to fit in. He's just not. So I'm not a fan of this. I am not a fan of this. I do think it's cool that Weird Al's two Transformer toys are both getting toy releases within a year of each other. That's really cool. This toy is not cool. I didn't like this toy the first time. I think this is an even worse fit this time. I don't know. I knew it was coming, and I was afraid of it. I was hoping they would do more than just swap the head. That's all they did. I'm not terribly happy about it. Now we're getting weird. Now we're getting really weird. Voyager Amalgamus Prime. We were really wondering how they would actually do this character because he's supposed to be formless. He is supposed to be just like a constant shift of parts, always forming new shapes. This is weird. Number 1, shockwave face. Number 2, pickaxe weapon. Number 3, four-armed, hunched over. He looks like a Cybertronian kaiju. And I am completely down for this. If anything, again, weird, different. We need this stuff. If anything, what I really like about this is what they told us later on. That, yeah, the parts on him can come off and reattach in other locations, and that there are multiple vehicle modes baked in. I get the feeling a lot of them are going to be left to your imagination alt modes. My hope is that Hasbro shows off enough of them to where we get a decent number of like intended alt modes that look really good without us having to like fan mode too much. And then just like, here's the parts, have at it. Right? I feel like this is like challenging me, because I love to look at new molds and speculate on who they could be, what other characters they could retool and promote and make these into. What do you do with this mold? What do you do with this mold? Who would it possibly be? You'd have to like call up Skybound, have them somehow bring Shockwave back into the story, super weird and mutated, just so we can get a Shockwave repaint. Oh, it's so weird. I love it. It's so weird. I'm looking forward to the play value of the toy. That's probably what's going to make it for me. Okay, leader scale, which the screenshot was taken a little bit too early, or a little bit too late, because we can see what's going on. Yep, it is Razorclaw, the universe repaint of Tigerhawk. Now is going to be a full release again. It's something weird about it. It's like, yeah, it looks really good, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like it's missing a little bit of something, and I'm not sure what it is. I think it's because the proportions are so much more cartoon accurate on this release that it's throwing me off, because I'm used to like the bird legs coming down more. I'm used to the chest being a different proportion. I'm used to the purple being far more dominant in the color scheme than this is. But talk about like a wild time. You've got this thing that Hasbro feels confident in releasing, and then you got this, which is a Universe 1.0 repaint only character getting a full retail release. That's wild. Looks good. Now we're talking wild. Now it's getting wild. So, Big Convoy. And notice, they didn't swap the name. I expected Mammoth Prime. No, Big Convoy. They actually kept the name on this one. And yeah, he looks super impressive. He looks super impressive. The big chunk on the back, that is the big cannon. That does come off. There's like a tripod to it, so you can stand him up. There's butterfly joints, so he can hold it properly. You get little upgrades from the original, like the tusks are on 5mm pegs, so you can play with those. The trunk is articulated now. It looks like he's basically, like, the thing with him is like the kibble factor on this toy has always been extreme. It does look like it's built into the toy a little bit better than it used to be, which is nice to see. But a lot of the familiar stuff is there, like the legs hanging off the hips. Those are still there. You can still see them. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Oh, and if you're wondering about the shape of the shoulders, those do flip up, and the missile pods are still painted in. So that is still going to be a thing you can do with him. Okay. Commander scale. Yeah, they showed off the prototype, or no, not the prototype, but like the render for Onslaught. Obviously, this doesn't show the whole thing because he's supposed to be a very long truck. But you know, this is like basically the main portion of him, the part that will become the actual skeleton of the Commander. We don't get to see that just yet. But just to confirm that, yeah, Commander for next year, Onslaught. Like, we knew it. Obviously it was. But we just get to see. Alright, Studio Series. Moving on to the deluxe scale. Arachnid in full color now. Should have been a Voyager. But at the time, they did not know she would be that big in the movies. So room for improvement in the future, but man, like for a deluxe, they got in a lot. The propellers work on this thing. Like the little spider legs are articulated on her back. Like they gave her heels so that she could stand up on her little like leg struts things. Yeah, she just looks really good. This is just a really cool looking toy. I'm very happy with it. I am very much excited for this one. They're dipping into TF5 now. They admitted that like the premium release, that original line, because it was like right before Studio Series, kind of covered the bases for that. But now they're kind of getting back into like going back and redoing those designs too. He looks fine. So the weird thing about this is, like, I prefer this look for Barricade. You know, not only because it looks, you know, far more like a police car that you'd be familiar with, but also just, you know, getting rid of the gigantic hands and the really long arms and all that. I do think this is a better look overall. There's also something that in my head that goes, he looks a little too normal now. So I don't know, maybe I just can't be satisfied on Barricade. But really cool to see that they're doing him. A lot of fans of that character really want that. 86 Wind Charger. Keep in mind, Wind Charger has exactly 1 frame of animation in the movie. I guess, well, no, technically no. The only time we see Wind Charger in the movie is when RC is dragging his dead corpse into a hallway, and then we see him and Wheeljack dead on the ground. But this is still the 86 release, and I'm happy they didn't just, like, have him dead already. It's just an excuse to get more mini-bots out. Well, what you're not seeing here is the fact that his chest does have an effect part. He comes with an effect part to have his, like, little magnetic powers going on, which is neat. And his head is on a hinge, so the face can look up and down, despite the shape of the helmet. That's a really cool touch. That's a really cool way of handling that. I assume that also means it's going to be real easy to just swap the face out when it comes to his inevitable retro release at Walmart. He looks good. He doesn't have to do much, but he looks good for what he is doing. And we're a little bit closer to getting all the mini-bots out. Okay, Voyager scale time. We saw the Alpha Trion before. Now we get to see the full paint job, and you can see they have painted on a lot of the moss, which is looking really, really good. Standard tail weapon in translucent plastic. Yeah, whatever. He looks really good though. He looks really good. I like the color mix in the robot mode. I like all the damage that's sculpted on. He's very asymmetrical with that. He looks really, really solid. Yeah, in general, the TF1 toys have actually been turning out really good. Really good. So I'm happy to see that's continuing. This is the one to talk about. Okay, so Voyager 86 Thundercracker, 100% new mold. Completely new Seeker mold, described as a mini masterpiece, which is a term I hope they don't throw around too much, because we kind of used it for 86 Optimus Prime, and we're starting to use it for a few other things, and I think that's a little bit off. I think let's not be like too eager to throw that around. That said, this does look really, really good, and how dare you make me buy a whole nother round of Seekers. This is where we start getting into, like, are they getting too good? Is there room for improvement here? Because that jet mode looks pretty freaking clean, if you ask me. And that robot mode looks pretty freaking clean, if you ask me. Articulation is good. Everything is smoothed out. He doesn't have the tech greeble that's left over from the Siege figure version of the figure. Waist articulation. Imagine that. He has waist articulation. It's amazing. I love that they're starting with Thundercracker. One, because the Target exclusive 2-pack was really hard for a lot of people to find. But also because, well, yeah, like, it beats the standard Starscream, doesn't it? Also, it's Thundercracker. You know, Thundercracker, between this character treatment in IDW 1.0 and now Skybound, I think Thundercracker's star has risen a lot. To the point where, like, yeah, he's one of my, I think character-wise, he's my favorite Seeker now. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of Seekers hitting eBay soon. And then it's just a wait to see how long does it take to get the main 6 out. And then what are the weird ones they're going to do? Because, like, the Tetra Jets got to do, they got to do, like, Red Wing. You know, and, like, the Rainmakers. And then the Earthrise version of the mold got to do what? we got, we got to do like the Devastation 2-pack. We got to do that one. We got to do the G2 Ramjet with that mold. So there's always like little leftovers, right? There's always little leftovers. So like this is like this. If you want to keep a hold of this version of the mold, keep a hold of these typical figures. But yeah, very, very cool to see. I'm happy. That mold really was showing its age. It was time. It was time to do it again. And for the leader scale, what do we got? Potentially the most boring thing they could have possibly done. So yeah, it's just the recent Age of Extinction Optimus Prime they just released. They're releasing again. Optimus Prime's head has a little bit of jam spread on it. His forearms are a little different. That's it. That's really it. This is one of the lamest things they could have possibly done. You could have done this with... If you haven't seen this figure at a toy aisle, it is tiny in that leader class box. It does not feel like a $55 figure in the least. So the very least they could have done with that release is just include some swappable parts. Swappable forearms, swappable head, both releases at once, just so you're not making people double dip on the lamest Nemesis Prime of them all. Yeah, I'm not happy with Hasbro's approach here. I'm really not. Like, this is not just lazy, it's borderline predatory. Like, this is not cool. This is not a good way of handling this. Oh well, vote with your wallet. Let this thing reek at retail. Let this thing take up shelf space until Target is practically paying you to take it away. Don't support stupid releases like this. Force them to be fan friendly next time something like this happens. Stupid. And then there was the big deal. Yes, the very first Titan for Studio Series is going to be Grimlock from Age of Extinction, replacing the original Leader class toy. It looks phenomenal. Not gonna lie, it looks really, really freaking amazing. Jeez. So this thing is 15 inches tall in robot mode. So about the size, I think that's about the size of the Star Optimus Prime. It is large enough for the Leader class toy you just saw to ride on his back in scale the way it was in the movie. He's gonna be big. He's gonna be real big. And the big thing to note here is the fact that they want to do all 4 Dinobots that were in the movie. So yeah, Strafe, Slug, and Scorn are all going to be released in this scale. Now, I'm going to make the assumption here that because of his smaller size, you're likely going to see Strafe potentially as a commander, but the way they talked about this coming out 1 per year definitely makes me think they're going to figure out some way of making that Pteranodon, the 2-headed Pteranodon, a Titan as well. That just feels like he's going to be a very small Titan, so he might pack in something else. Don't know. But man, I guess he has to be big enough for 2 deluxes to fight on top of, now that I think about it. So yeah, scratch that. He's got to be big. He's got to be big too. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know where someone's going to be. I don't know how you're going to begin to have all 4 of them on display. It's just going to be a massive shelf glut. Jeez. Cool idea, though. Cool idea. Now, that is it for the official reveals. We could go into other things, like other companies like Yellow Park 3.0 also announced things, but it's statues, high-end figure stuff. It's not really what you came for. We will do a couple other things here really quick because we're going long on time. Yeah, the big thing outside of this was Masters of the Universe also announced Transformers crossover stuff, but it's in their style. So it's Man-at-Arms and it's Skeletor cosplaying as Bumblebee and Skeletor respectively. And it's the kind of stupid, goofy thing that I kind of enjoy seeing, but don't know if I actually want to buy. It's amusing, though. I will give it that. It is, at the very least, very amusing. I've got the Michelangelo. Like, I've got their, like, Michelangelo they did right here. It's really good. It's really good. So, I don't know. I don't know. If they do a few more of these and they hit a character I like or hit a really cool aesthetic, maybe. Maybe. We are going to talk a little bit more about some in hand on the floor of photos for this, so you get to see a little bit more of what's going on here. So I'm not going to lie, like some of this does ring true to that like mini Masterpiece thing, because I believe that's how Masterpiece 2.0 Starscream handles the cockpit. Like it folds back and like splits the back open in order to tuck in right here. Even like the multi-layered wing thing is going on. Though this, I will tell you, is accomplished with a 5mm port. So if you want that like toy accurate look to have like the tail fins on the lower legs, you can still leave them there. Like this is just unpegged and pegged back into the back of his wings. So you have the option. I think that's a better call. The only concern I have is the butt flap. That's a little bit of kibble that might get in the way of a few things, particularly if you're rotating the waist, it might clack into the wings here. But we'll have to have it in hand to actually see how much that's going to affect things. It is a really, really nicely executed mold. I will give it that. It is exceptionally well executed. A few other picks, here's Big Convoy, a little bit of prototype color because the head is still like super dark for some reason. Do I have a shot? No, I don't have a shot here. Let's see. I'm scrolling down to see if there's anything relevant here. Yep, Big Convoy does come with a matrix. Of course he does. He was the first one to have a removable matrix. Why wouldn't he have it? Yeah, and you can see, like, there's video of them going through, I guess photos. They're just going through the transformation sequence. It's like he transforms well. So we can see, do we have a spot? There's the underside. So he does take a little bit of, I can see some of like Masterpiece's style of engineering in there. He does have an opening cockpit. And he has landing gear, which is great to see. I'm not a fan of the translucent plastic for the guns. What are you doing to me? No, it just looks like a really well produced and well engineered Seeker toy. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, and yeah, there's this super mode for Nemesis, just in case you were curious. I knew they had it on display somewhere. It's cool they actually included that. They gave that attention. Anything else we want to cover? Yeah, you can see all the little bits and how this is neat. So here's the thing. Look at him. The forearm pops off on its own, and you just unfold the shell of it, and it just becomes a fighter. It becomes a fighter jet. Like here's the main section as a spaceship. Like here's a ground tank, like made from more parts of him. This is a really neat idea. Like this thing could have a ton of play value to it. Like that could be a big sleeper. One last thing. I mentioned my buddy Edgar, who was there at San Diego Comic-Con, also sent along some photos that I actually wanted to go to as well. If I can pull those up, which are not working at the moment. Why are these not working? I want to include these because I want to have like some in-person shots here, so you get to see what Brawl ended up looking like, and he looks good. There's your minicons, without any kind of like special cameras or anything. So this is how they're going to look, and they do look really, really good. There's a close-up of the Nemesis face, appropriately creepy. There's your Starscream. I kind of like these colors, not gonna lie. These colors are actually kind of hitting a little bit. That we haven't had a salmon red Starscream yet. There's your scale. There's your scale. This is a big dino. This is a really big dino. Jeez. That's a leader class toy. Granted, a small leader class toy, but my God, that thing's going to be big. There's your blast off, looking really, really good. Lyle Kaiser was there at the preview breakfast as well. There is Death Cobra with all of the Crest Force members connected onto the cannon mode. We did hear that that was going to be a thing, so there we get to see what it looks like. These are in no particular order, by the way. He just kind of like, I just like saved them to one folder just to kind of throw everything together. There's the back of Quintus, so you get a little bit more of an idea of how he works. And then the side view, he looks neat. I'm not gonna lie, like he looks neat. Like the transformation looks like it's gonna be simple. Like there's definitely not gonna be a whole lot of transformation below his waist, but he looks neat. I mean, for what he's doing, I think he looks pretty interesting. And yeah, here we have the Lyle Kaiser on display. I think important to note, this seems to be the fixed version of Lyle Kaiser that we heard about. Things like those little extra like flap things that descended, that like came down and obstructed the torso from the arms. Those are now retooled out. Like those parts have been swapped around. So you don't see them now. So yeah, so this is the version that has a few of the touch-ups. So good to see it's getting better. You know, and given what happened with Optimus, very, very good to see that it's getting better. A few other prototype shots, a few other Amalgamous shots, who looks insane. Quick strikes, proper colors, you know, so there's no like photoshopping thing going around. Having Devastator, 86 Devastator in hand now, that backpack isn't nearly as bad. That backpack is like absolutely okay by comparison. There's Jalopy again, more Amalgamous. I hope the eyes are a little bit nicer when they get to like the final version, because it looks a little bit dead. Just a little bit. You know, and there you see, okay, there you see the size of the cannon. Nice to see. Yeah, and that's pretty much what Edgar had to show us, just to get a little bit, like one last close look at things without, you know, Hasbro meddling with things and adjusting. But that is it. That is a lot of stuff that Hasbro dropped for San Diego Comic-Con, and then a little bit more. Like I said, there's a lot of Transformer stuff. If we go to all like the actual partner companies, but that could be a whole other video. And I know it's not what you came for, so we're gonna wrap it up here. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It's a long video, but then again, it's a lot of thoughts on a lot of toys. But I do appreciate you sticking around for it, and as always, I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.